Not even one.
Well, can I just clarify a couple points that Dave spoke? I think Dave and I are on the same page. We both want to see Mangano gone. We both feel there's a lot of work to be done. And we both agree on a lot of the issues. There's just one or two things that we disagree on that I want to point out respectfully. One of them is the administration and education. We should combine school districts. I am vehemently against that. The cost of administration.
Well, Adam, I didn't say combined school districts. I said that we
superintendents.
don't need as much administration. We don't need 59 or 57 different administrations.
2% of the budget goes towards administration. I understand if you want to get rid of a
Actually, that's not true.
It is.
20% of the Belmore Merrick school districts, 20% of Rockville Center goes towards administration.
All right, well, we're going to have to disagree because 80% of the budgeting is teacher salaries and benefits.
What does the Roslyn School Board superintendent make?
$255,000.
Right.
Okay, it's a $100 million budget. There's three other superintendents.
255,000 is her salary or his salary?
Yeah.
And that's what he makes. We're going to ignore what else they make.
All in with all the perks.
What's the package?
The package with all our superintendents is under $2 million. It's a $100 million budget. I mean, it's just not true. It's not 20%.
The superintendent of Rosalind's package is worth more than $300,000.
Oh, if you include every single, I'm putting all the superintendents.
Let's be honest. Let's include what they cost.
You said administration costs 20% of the budget. I'm telling you, with all in health insurance, any perk you may get, salary, there's 4 or 5 superintendents, the pension, the numbers can't possibly add up. It's about 2%. I mean, I'm on the school board. I know the budget.
You're looking at just the superintendent or the administration?
Superintendent,
The
assistant
superintendent is not the
curriculum.
only thing that's in
Administration
administration.
is superintendent, assistant superintendent of curriculum, of business, and
The secretary.
Can I interrupt you guys for a second? Because we don't really want to turn this into a debate.
No, I just want you to clarify.
Time out, just a second. This is an effort by Democrats to come together to identify what the problems are, propose solutions.
Henry,
Now-
my only point is that if taxes is the #1 problem, and it's actually the #1, 2, and 3 problem.
I agree.
You have to at least address where 2/3 of the taxes
So-
go.
And I have a
And if
question
you take
for you.
off of the table that you can cut administrative costs, there's really
I'm
not
not saying
many
that- I'm
places
not
to
saying
go.
that.
Gentlemen, time out. I have a question for you. I'm a past school board member, school board president. We've got 2 other past school board presidents in this room with us. And it's always been the kind of thing that, the school district can't be in politics. But you want to know something? A lot of the attitude toward the body politic grows out of the taxes, most of which are imposed by school districts. The question I put to you is, and you seem to be starting to answer it by this little debate you're having, should some aspect of school district policymaking concerning expenditures be part of the political process? Or is there some reason to isolate it so that you have what we have now, where the people who come out for the school budget, school district votes are primarily parents, many of whom will vote for whatever's up there because they want the best for their children, or at least as presented to
It's
them.
actually, a lot of empty nesters come out too. I mean, it's a pretty good cross-section of society.
No, it isn't.
Not here.
There's 50,
If you
60.
just look at the numbers of the people who turn
2%
out.
of the eligible voters vote. It's not a very good
The
cross-section.
question is, should this become part of the political discussion?
Yes.
I think it should. I think it
I mean,
will.
one of the things we
You
discussed
know,
earlier.
if you look at, let me finish, if you look at, let's take Garden City, it's close, right? It's a good school district, everyone would say Garden City's a good school district, right? Why do people in Garden City pay less in school taxes than people in Seaford?
Roosevelt Field.
Not Roosevelt Field, but Franklin Avenue. Roosevelt Field, you're exactly right. Since I work at my law office at Roosevelt Field, most of Roosevelt Field, save for the farthest western area up against Clinton, actually goes to Uniondale, which also is an area which it can show that even a minority area could get the benefit of a lot of business. So one of the things that everyone agrees on, but Adam and I are agreeing, that we need to make more of our areas throughout Nassau County work or look like Garden City or Rockville Center, at least in some areas. But the bottom line is, I think everything is on the table when we're hurting the way it is. And I think that if there's cost savings to be had in administrative consolidation of the schools, we'd be crazy not to talk about it.
So let me just add to that for a second, please. I created a 15-point plan of looking at the 20% of the budget that is not to do with education as far as teachers or administration. I don't disagree with David as far as there might be some savings, a few $100,000 in doing that. But one of the reasons why our schools are so successful is because a teacher, a student, a parent, they're very accessible. You're the city school system, try and speak to the superintendent of schools. And by the way, how's the city school system working?
What does the superintendent actually do?
Let me get back to how we can share, how I believe that David...
You had a question.
Well, actually, I don't have a question, I have a comment. I was on the school board for many years, and I remember going to meetings with Swansea where they were going to try to consolidate and set, I knew you were familiar.
I thought so too.
Personally, the reality is, I know the school superintendents make a lot of money, but what drives the cost in a school district is your teacher's contract.
Absolutely. Exactly right.
Because they
And
build
benefits.
from there. If you have gym teachers making $120,000 and they're all over the place, then when you have assistant principals, they've got to make more, so the principals make more.
I understand.
The assistant,
I
and then
understand.
they rack it up. But anyway, this is a discussion that went round and round, and unfortunately, because all of our neighborhoods treasure our local control, I think we're wasting our time to get into the school discussion, although it's a problem that needs to be solved. Henry's list of questions really goes to the heart of what's the problem in Nassau County. The sewer system is appalling. We need to deal with that. The assessment is appalling. I think we make a big mistake when we get sidetracked into a discussion about superintendent salaries,
I agree.
which are also somewhat appalling. I think for the purpose of
Interesting phrase.
for this
Somewhat
meeting,
appalling.
we need.
I'm giving you a solution. So let me answer your question, and Dave, I'm gonna actually redirect that. I think you'll agree with me. There's services in schools that we could share. I believe in combining services. I don't want to combine districts unless the districts vote to do that. I want to combine busing, purchasing. Why do we all have to go out and hire different people to do our cesspool treatment in our schools when we can hire for a fraction of the cost if we go out together? There's millions of dollars to save in cooperative contracts. We can get hung up on 2%, 20% with superintendents, but we agree that there's efficiency to be had. I created a whole plan to do that. We've saved over $10 million in my 4 years on the board. We're one of the best run districts financially in the county, barely over a budget increase of 1%.
In Rockville Center, $10 million is spit in the ocean.
I understand,
Well,
but let me just make one other point, please.
You just kept
The where we should do consolidation first and have a victory before we go for the hard stuff, in my mind, is water, okay? And I know you have a bone about this. There's 46 water districts in Nassau County. Do you
We have our
care?
own water. Nobody's going to tell you to go get somebody else's water.
We have layers and layers of boards, and talking about superintendents, water superintendents in every single district. Suffolk has 9 districts, we have 46. There's millions of dollars to save in consolidation. That's a great place to
Now,
start.
let me just jump in. I don't know why I'd have a problem with consolidation of water districts. I've made a huge case that the idea that there should ever be private monopolies over public necessities is a huge
No, I agree.
mistake.
I'd say we could
What
agree
we're
with
doing, or hearing the state talk about with LIPA, is like to ignore what Lilco really was. But we have in Baldwin,